And that leads to the next point, because I think this one is very important. I don't know whether it was because of Deion Sanders' complaints that too many people get in, or whether others have said too many get in. I've said too many get in, because too many do get in. They had the thing 5 years ago, 100th anniversary of the Hall of Fame, 100th anniversary of the NFL, whatever. It was the 100th anniversary of the NFL. We had this cleanup class where like 25 people got in. It's like, wait, what? Like, they either got in or they didn't. Like, what do we? We're just 1 year only. Like, it's Amnesty Day at the library. You can bring back all of the books, Tropic of Cancers under your mattress. And no, they either got in or they didn't. Like, we're creating this separate 1 year only 20-person class. No. So I've become very disenchanted with the voting process, which has caused me to become very disenchanted with the Hall of Fame and everything about the Hall of Fame, because I think the voting process is embarrassing. And so they reacted to criticism in recent years of letting too many people in by changing the process. And as it relates to the category that Bill Belichick was in, contributor, there were two contributors. Well, there was a coach finalist, a contributor finalist, and 3 senior finalists. They were in their separate, and this is just weird to me, because it used to be once you became a finalist, there would be a final vote on you. On you. Do right. You get in? Up or down? Yes. Whatever the number was, it 75%, 80%, whatever it was. We're making a vote on you. And so it would go through all the once because they whittled the 15 finalists down to, I think, 5. I think that's what they do or did. So for each one, vote on this one, do it all the way through. And then we got our separate category. We're going to vote on them, each one. Bill Belichick, yes or no? Robert Kraft, yes or no? The others were L.C. Greenwood, yes or no? Ken Anderson, yes or no? Roger Craig, yes or no? Those are the 5. But here's what they do. Here's what they do now. And hopefully, if nothing else, that process gets changed. Because that's why they only had a couple people get in last year. So what you do now is you vote for 3 of the 5. That's it. You vote for 3 of the 5. So 2 of them are necessarily getting a no. And they still have to get 80%. So you only can vote yes for 3. You can't vote yes for all 5. So Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft were in direct competition. And Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick were in direct competition with Roger Craig, who was in direct competition with Ken Anderson, who was in direct competition with L.C. Greenwood, because you had to get 3 on there. That's it. 3 out of 5. And you still had to get 80%. And one of the theories I heard is it's possible, and you touched on this earlier, but I think we need to focus on this. It's possible that just enough voters said, well, Belichick's getting in. I want to help Ken Anderson get in. I want to help L.C. Greenwood get in. Because Belichick's surely going to get in. And if 11 people make that mistake, Bill Belichick doesn't get in.
Yeah.
And it's not, I didn't affirmatively vote no. I didn't affirmatively vote no for Bill Belichick. And I think but we need to remember that. Nobody voted no on Bill Belichick. This isn't like Proposition 48 on your ballot. Yes on 48, no on 48, or whatever. The California, like when I was living out there in the 80s just for a little while, working at the Chevron refinery while I was in college, like they got all these, what are all these, like that hadn't come to the other states yet. Like they got 50 propositions. I got a proposition. I don't give a shit. But anyway, I was young and I was apathetic about politics at the time. And now I'm old and apathetic about it because it's the only way to survive. But it's not like that. It's not up or down. So nobody voted no, but not enough voted yes. And I think that's the way we need to frame it. He needed 40 people to put him on their 3-person list of the 5 names I mentioned. And 40 didn't do it. And there's a chance that none of them are getting in. There's a chance that none of them mustered 40 votes under that process. And I'd love to know who came up with this stupid-ass process.
Yeah, who came up with the process. But as I said earlier, I want to know who decided, okay, I'll go L.C. Greenwood, Roger Craig, Robert Kraft, and no Bill Belichick. I want to know the people who did that and have them explain why they did it. So, I mean, that's the flaw in the process. That's why I think the explanation will lead to change. If we have this outrage that possibly the greatest coach in the history of football, or the greatest coach since the merger, however you want to slice it. If we have this outrage, it will last for a couple of days. And then we'll get into Seahawks versus Patriots, and it will kind of die down a bit. But if we can actually have a look behind the curtain, I think it could lead to some substantial change. And that's what needs to happen. Because otherwise, we're just going to go back to this. If they keep this system it was broken before this, by the way, because we're talking about Bill Belichick. You already mentioned Robert Kraft is in competition with Belichick. Robert Kraft should be in the Hall of Fame. And the fact that Robert Kraft is not in the Hall of Fame is some of the same themes we're talking about with Belichick. Some people say Spygate for him. Some people say Deflategate for him. Some people, and they've been on the record, and Van Natta has written about this, some people were upset that Robert Kraft, who's in his 80s, wants it too much. He's a little too solicitous for his Hall of Fame moment. And I just think, I think that's silly. The Patriots are back in the Super Bowl, Mike. And so for Robert Kraft, this is the third head coach quarterback combination of his ownership that he's had make the Super Bowl. He had Parcells and Bledsoe. He had obviously Brady and Belichick, and now Drake May and Mike Vrabel. He's won a ton of playoff games and Super Bowl. Like, come on. It's obvious he's a Hall of Famer. So is Bill Belichick. And I think if the system is getting in the way, we got to tweak the system or abolish it.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.